Starting 6,000 years ago is when horse racing all started. It's been around longer than any other sport or spectator sport out there. It's increased popularity over the decades and it's still popular today. Horse racing has become a huge business and a popular sport and spectator sport. I have attended Churchill Downs for a horse race and it was awesome. I also own two horses, so I love horse racing and I think it's a great sport. Today I'm going to talk to you about the history, the rules, the kinds of horses, and the gambling aspect of horse racing. Let me tell you first about the history. It all started in Asia. That's where horse racing became popular. 6,000 years ago is a long time. I had asked my audience when they thought horse racing first became popular. A lot of people said the 1800s, and a lot of people said it's been around forever, and it's always been a sport that's been popular. Both are true. The 1800s, it really became popular, but it's been around for longer than that. In 1665, in Long Island, New York, there was a guy named Richard Nichols, and he had a thoroughbred horse named Bull Rock. That was the first thoroughbred horse to be imported into the Americas. And he started racing this horse immediately, and he ended up being a top winner of these horse races that he started racing him in. The wealthy it's always been a pastime for the wealthy, the horse races. It's a chance for them to dress up in their fine clothes, their big hats, their fancy jewelry, and go and bet their money and gamble on who's going to be the winner of this race. And they've been around 6,000 years ago, the wealthy attended it, and today they do. Churchill Downs is one of the most famous American horse track races out there. Churchill Downs was built by Colonel M. Lewis Clark, who loved Europe's horse races and horse tracks and the atmosphere that they had over there. He decided to bring it to America and make Churchill Downs. It's a beautiful horse track. In May 17th of 1875 was the first Kentucky Derby, and it was at Churchill Downs, which is located in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's still the home of the Kentucky Derby today. Churchill Downs is. The revenue of horse racing is insane. Last year, worldwide horse racing generated $125 billion worth of money. That is just crazy. So you can see it's a very popular sport. Yes, there's gambling and a lot of money that goes into it, but it is a huge spectator and a jockey sport that's just very popular for today. It has to be in order to create that much revenue. It's a huge business today and will continue to be. Every sport, even ones with horses, have rules and regulations, right? Well, the race rules, the horse rules, and the jockey rules are: the horses must be paraded around in front of the judges and the crowd before the race begins, and they must start in their stalls. They can't start anywhere else. They all have to be behind the gate and start behind their stalls. The horse has to be the minimum age of 2 to start doing shorter races, and it has to be the minimum age of 3 to do hurdles. That's because they're not fully developed if they would do it any younger. The horse can be disqualified if it interferes and messes around with any other horse during the race. And the jockeys need to have a state-issued license. So if they live somewhere else, they have to get the state-issued license to where that race is going to be. They need to be weighed in before the race, and they have to have protective helmet. If a false start races and someone contends it, that they will and can start a new race. The first horse to cross that line is the winner. If two horses going head to head, the first horse's nose to cross that line, and if two horses' noses cross that line at the same exact time, those two horses will split the winnings and split the pot between them. This was all found out by the Guide to Sports Betting by Kelso Stunger. There are slow horses, there are fast horses. These are the breeds that you want if you are going to race. We have the thoroughbred. It's the fastest of all horses and holds the undisputed reign as king of all horse races. The Arabian, the first domesticated horse. bred for their beauty, stamina, and speed. The saddlebred, known for its very showy gaits, intelligence, and lengthy legs. And the quarter horse, which holds the record for sprinting short distances and has a very intricate speedy maneuvers. This information was found at the encyclopedia.com. So if you're going to ever race, those would be the breeds that I would suggest that you would use to race. Gambling is a huge part of horse races. One of the main things that people like to do is go there and gamble. I have asked the audience what they thought if gambling wasn't allowed at horse races, if it would increase popularity, stay the same, or decrease it. Some people said there's always going to be horse lovers out there who are going to love the race and the sport as it is and are going to continue to go. Others said no. It's going to decrease the popularity of the people who go there because that's what they want to do. They want to go bet on the horses and bet on the races. And the horse that's going to be the fastest and win. I think, it's kind of a hard question because, I don't know, there are horse lovers who are always going to love it. But I think population will go down with that because people love to bet. When they bet at horse races, one of the rules is all the bets need to be in by the time that gun blows. Once that blows to start the race, bets are off. People will always be betting at these, and that's one of the main events and main things that people look forward to. They love that aspect. I know people every year, Kentucky Derby, people get their bets out and are ready to see the stats on all the horses and who's going to win, and it's crazy, but people love it. So let's review what we learned today or discussed. Horse racing is a highly profitable and pleasurable sport. The history, the rules, the breeds that there are for racing, and the gambling aspect. And have you ever attended a horse race? Because they're a blast.